Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's June 10th, 1999.
It kind of is, sure.
What?
The 9999 love balloons, what?
Hey, do you know I can sing that song in German. Do you know that?
Yes.
99
What?
Laughing too much. 99 sich Luftballons. Ihrem Weg zum Horizont. Dankst du vielleicht geladen mich.
Have you been to Germany?
No, I actually haven't. Always wanted to go to Germany. I took German in school, but I didn't do it all the way up until senior year. And senior year, they went on a trip to Germany.
Did you know that they were going to do that?
No, and I was so mad.
Was it the first time, or were you just not paying attention to all the other senior German classes?
I guess I wasn't paying attention
Holy
to the
shit.
other senior German classes. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it was the first time or not. All I know is that my friends that were in the German class went to Germany and then came back and told me all about it.
Aw.
And my friend got oral sex from one of our classmates who
Holy shit.
had teeth that were like kind of like jagged and stuff
Dear
like that.
Lord.
So I was like, I don't know if I take that chance. But apparently it was fine.
Wow. Okay. Wow. TMI. So let's talk about some
Speaking of oral sex,
Yeah.
let's talk about 90210.
Beverly Hills bitches.
Wow. So there's lots of storylines, Carol.
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to start, but
So let's
lots of things going on in this episode as we slip away.
set the scene by talking about
Let's set
Matt
this-
and his wife.
It's dark. Candles are lit.
So in
Voices are speaking, but they're not. In reality, they're not from Matt or his wife. They're in her head. Anyway, go ahead.
that's where I was gonna get.
Sorry.
So in the Walsh house, that is
Right.
no longer the Walsh house, even
No.
though it is. It's kind of weird.
It's their original set.
We've got blaring music waking up Steve and who else lives there?
Noah.
Noah.
Noah lives there too now.
So weird.
Steve, Noah, Matt.
And Matt's wife.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what Mr. and Mrs. Walsh think about this. Just off in Hong Kong,
I doubt they give it any thought. Doesn't Jason Priest, doesn't Brandon own it now?
I guess. I don't know.
I thought that they gave it to him or something.
I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
It's weird. The whole thing's weird. I wonder if he's ever going to come back. If he's going to make an appearance and be like, "Hey, I just want to check on my house. By the way, you owe me some rent." You know.
Right. He comes back as the villain. Just comes back dressed in a suit, being like, "Hey, I've been in Washington. They've corrupted me.
Right?
You owe me $500,000 in rent."
Probably.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to have a party.
So she's blaring the music. We find out because she can't find the headphones,
Right.
and the loud music helps drown out the voices.
Exactly.
Matt finds her the headphones and explains that they're a whisper now, but they're going to get louder.
I like how he acts like he's a fucking expert on this when he knew her for a few months when she was going down this they got married, but when she was going down this path and everything, and then just threw her in an institute and didn't pay any attention to her again until she came back.
Well, okay, we don't know he didn't pay any attention to her again. He just moved to Beverly Hills. He might have been visiting her before that.
Yeah, whatever. He's fucking deadbeat husband.
But he did go through her losing it before, so he probably does know the signs, the progression. But yeah, it's pretty sad. They're like, "Sorry, man, sorry."
It is sad because she's going crazy.
Yeah.
She has no clozapine.
Yeah, so they go and they try to get some clozapine
They do.
from the pharmacy without a prescription.
Well, they say they have the bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we need a refill on this. And he's like, oh, I checked and there's no refill on this. Let me leave this giant bottle of clozapine here.
Who does that? Like, there's no... First of all, they don't just go fill it while you stand there and ask them to. Like, it's usually like a 20-minute wait.
Seriously. These people go to school for like 8 years so they can use that long little knife-like thing and pour pills from one large bottle onto a tray and then separate them out into the right amount to put in a little bottle.
Right.
It's delicate work. They don't just do it in front of you.
But he
Because if
just...
they did, they'd reveal how useless their job is.
Oh, come on now.
No, pharmacists are fine.
No, they have lots of purpose.
Don't poison me, pharmacists.
But, yeah, they leave the giant-ass bottle of clozapine and say that they cannot, fill the script. They're like, it's the weekend, the doctor's out of town, whatever. Like, they're making all these excuses why they can't call the doctor. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, then there's nothing I can do. So they take the pills and run for it.
They try to. He gets 3 steps, and the pharmacist is like, hey! And out of nowhere, out of the ether, a security guard appears. And he's like, I have been summoned by the word hey.
Is there a problem here?
Hay is for horses and me.
I don't understand how they didn't, get arrested for trying to steal pills.
Yeah, it seems like something you shouldn't encourage, but...
Right.
I don't know if, maybe they explained, because we just cut to the opening. To
right.
Matt's going to look like he's riding a horse. But yeah, I don't know.
So it's pretty hopeless.
Yeah.
And Matt's sitting...
Like the rest of this series.
Right. So Matt's sitting there having coffee with Kelly, because apparently now they're just cool to hang out. I don't really understand where we're leaving things with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. They're friends, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
But these people get over things way too fast. He was sleeping with her, and then it turns out that he had a wife, and, all that shit happened. And Kelly was, offended at first, but once she heard the story, she was like, oh, okay, I forgive you then. Then it's fine you were fucking me while you were married, technically. It's maybe you could forgive that, but, they go from where they were to let's just have coffee and be friends way too fast.
Right.
But yeah, he's like, oh, I can't do anything. They won't give it to us. I don't know what to do. And she's like, hey, I used to work at this clinic that had just the worst storylines. But I knew some people that needed HIV medication that they couldn't get in the United States. So they went to Mexico and got it illegally. And then died of botulism.
And he's like, I can't go to Mexico and get her medicine. I can't leave her alone. She's losing it. Although, where is she right now?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not with her now.
He's still working. He's still at the court.
Right. It's not like she has 24-hour observation by Matt.
Exactly.
So
Matt-servation.
Kelly then goes and has dinner with Dylan. Mm-hmm. Again,
at what's his name? Brian Austin Green's place.
Yeah. But again,
David.
huh?
David is his name.
An interaction that really shouldn't be happening because they're exes. And he's got a girlfriend.
But they're doing this little dance.
Mm-hmm. So they're having dinner, and she tells him all about what's going on with Matt.
And she's like, I want to go to Mexico to get his medication.
And he's like, oh, yeah, we can go to Mexico. Mexico's fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, Mexico's a hotel room.
Mm-hmm. He's kind of a sleaze.
I really hate what they've done to his character. I like that they brought his character back. It makes the show more interesting. I don't know. That original cast was just so good, I guess. And a lot better than the ones they've added since. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are good. They're varying levels of good.
Sure.
Some are Muppets. But that first cast was it was really good. And when he comes back, there's something about his screen presence. Mm-hmm. He's good. But I really hate what they're doing with his character because I kind of fucking hate his character. Because he's dating Gina, but he treats her like a fucking sex doll or something. I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, he obviously does. I mean, he's basically said to Kelly he doesn't really care about her.
Yeah.
He's just using her as a distraction.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So, but, Kelly, she's more than a distraction to him.
Well, they're destined to be together throughout History in Time or whatever that fucking
Soulmate.
dream episode was.
Now, I've got a little bit of an issue with this, okay? She's like, I've got to get clozapine for him. I've got to help kill his wife. That's what she's going to do.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even think about that. But yes, she wants to kill the competition.
Get her out of the way.
Oh my God. Yeah, let him have a couple weeks together because I'll have him forever. She's like a spider.
Right? It's awful. So the whole thing is weird. And then poor Gina is having the worst day and shows up at Dylan's house looking for comfort and to ask him to have dinner with her.
Yeah.
And finds him having dinner with his ex.
Yeah. Oh, this is not a good time for me.
Yeah. What the fuck, man?
But yeah, and then she gets all pissed off, rightly, about what's going on. And then Kelly tries to explain. She's like, oh, Dylan's going to go down to Mexico with me to get pills for Matt. And she's like, yeah, great. Mexico, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. Like, if he wasn't a sleaze, he would have invited Gina to go too.
Yeah.
To show that everything was on the up
To
and
have a
up.
threesome? Oh, yeah, that's right.
That. Yeah, that too. So they go to Mexico, and Kelly's contact isn't coming through for her, so it turns into just a.
This is a very vague situation.
Yeah.
We see a few scenes. There's not a lot of scenes of them in Mexico.
No.
But we see a few. They eat or something like that. They're walking the street of the bazaar or whatever, talking vaguely about their past relationship and about trying to get these pills and everything. There's a couple whispered things of like, you're supposed to be with Matt or whatever. It's like, are they supposed to be together? Because it really seems like he's with his wife.
Yeah.
And then they're in the hotel room where she's like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. And he's like, okay. And then they end up,
Of course, in bed together.
mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed in Kelly.
I
mean, I don't like her anyway. But.
Right. But yeah, she it doesn't take a lot of convincing. And then they sleep together. And then the next morning, she's regretful of it.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to have sex with her again. He's like, hey, I'll tell Gina. Just I'll tell her we did it twice. Come over here. Like 2 times isn't worse than 1 time.
Kind of.
We've already done it. But she's like, are you going to tell her? And he's like, yeah, well, I'll make it up to her, whatever he says. I think he says, I'll make it up to her.
Does that mean he's going to tell her? Or does that just mean he's going to buy her something pretty to make up for it and not tell her?
I don't know. Yeah, we're not sure. But they don't end up having sex again. Just the one time.
And then they're going across the border, and they have not gotten the pills. They're not smuggling anything. And yet, Kelly freaks out when the guard's asking questions.
It's really weird that she's nervous about this. He's like, hey, do you have anything to declare? Like fruits or vegetables?
Or medication.
Like, it's so weird.
And
Do they ask that specifically, medication?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got in trouble for having medication that I was from the United States into Canada, my personal medication, but I had several different kinds of pills because I take several different kinds of medication just in a bottle. That's not allowed. They don't like that.
Yeah. Is it illegal to transport medication that you buy legally? Because I know some people go to Canada to get medication from a pharmacy because it's cheaper there. So, if you have your doctor, because we're very close to Canada.
Yeah.
If you have your doctor, send a prescription to a pharmacy in Canada and you go there to pick it up and you bring it back across the border, is that illegal?
I don't think so, but I think you have to declare it and pay taxes.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true, yeah. Okay.
So, but she starts just babbling and being nervous, and so then Dylan's like, "Oh, don't mind her. We had sex, and I have a girlfriend.
We're exes, and we cheated and stuff." And she's freaking out, and she was all over me, and she's like, "I was not all over you." And then they start arguing. The guy's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Yeah. The guy was exposed to 30 seconds of an episode of 90210, and he was like, "Fucking leave."
Oh my god. And then we find out, and they're not even like out of the woods really. And
No, they drive 2 feet.
right. And Dylan's just like, look, I got the pills.
He just pulls this bottle out. Look at this. And she's like, what the fuck? And he's like, that's why I did that. I didn't mean anything that I said. But your contact called when you were in the shower washing my stink off of you. And so I made the deal. How long was that shower?
Right?
He was able to answer a phone call, set up a time, go meet the guy, exchange the pills, come back, and she was just stepping out of the shower? What did she do in the shower?
I think he took the phone call while she was in the shower. And then when she was asleep, went out and got the pills.
Maybe, I guess. Makes more sense.
But yeah, so they've got this bottle of clozapine. They risked like what? I don't know, federal prison. I don't know what kind of what happens.
I don't know. It's illegal. I don't know exactly how illegal, but
to get them.
I guess you could be held indefinitely in the border security thing. Technically, it's not the United States or Mexico. It's like its own little fucking autonomy.
Oh God,
that's what it's like in Canada too.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And they show up with the pills, and she's like, "Look what we got." And then Matt's wife is like, "Thanks so much. I don't want them.
I'm pouring them down the drain."
Like, what a fucking bitch.
Seriously. Because she's like, Matt comes home, and she's like sitting there or whatever, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, you called or whatever. I was in court. I wasn't able to call you back or whatever. And she's like, it's okay. I'm okay now. And I was looking so forward to seeing you and everything. And she's like, and now I think like it was nice to look forward to seeing you or whatever. Nice enough to want to live. And it's like, oh, okay. So all it took was anticipation, I guess.
It's like, I haven't looked forward to anything in so long.
So now she wants to live instead of die.
Even though she's going to lose her fucking mind and end up back in the hospital.
So we're not going to Italy, I guess. So this whole thing was useless.
Yeah. Well,
because she's just going to go back to the Institute and whatever. Well, he says, okay, I'll move back to New York with you.
And take care of you.
Yeah, we'll do all this stuff. And then when we need to go to the Institute, we will. And I'll visit you every day and whatever.
Did you say all that?
No, but I mean, that's the implication.
Okay.
But instead, she has a conversation. I can't remember his wife's name.
Yeah, me either,
but she has a conversation with Kelly.
And she says, we're not going to New York. I'm going to New York. And you need to take care of Matt.
Sexually.
Apparently.
No, she's like, I need a favor. I need you to take care of Matt. He's not going. I'm not going to have him throw away his life for me. Mm-hmm. So that's where apparently that's going to end. So Matt's going to stay. I thought Matt was going to leave.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole point of his wife coming, was his exit.
Yeah, but no.
So now Kelly has slept with Dylan, and Matt's wife is leaving. So now she's again in the middle of the love triangle that we had like a month ago.
And I guess that was the point, is just to like let her sleep with Dylan guilt-free, even though it shouldn't be guilt-free because he is a girlfriend. But whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but apparently nobody cares about Gina. So.
No.
Speaking of Gina.
Yeah, let's do Gina next. Hey, let's do Gina.
I would not mind. Sorry, you distracted me.
She has a trust because from the time she was an amateur skater or whatever, she was doing, I don't know.
Ice capades or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but she was doing like, that's the thing is like, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Because they said she was gearing up for the Olympics. So to gear up for the Olympics, you have to be an amateur. You have to have amateur, unless you're a basketball player. You have to have amateur status, which means you can't be getting paid for what you're doing. You're just training. So I'm not sure exactly where this money was coming from, if she was doing ice capade stuff or whatever, but she said it's been building up for a lot of years, and she can't access it for another couple years. But she wants to get a loan to open her own gym. Opening your own gym in California, solid business move. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's a lot of them.
Right.
So it's very tough. It's like opening a potato farm in Idaho or something like that. But anyway, so she wants to open her own gym. and she wants to get a loan from the bank, and she's going to use this trust as collateral on the loan. She's going to show them, hey, I have assets. I don't have access to them for a couple of years, but I have assets. So, you'll get your money. Even if I default on my loan, you know that money's there that you can get.
How old are these people supposed to be at this point that she doesn't have access to the trust?
I believe she's 20. She's supposed to be 23, and she has access when she's 25.
Okay.
Which is that's a normal age for trusts.
Okay.
To mature. Sometimes they can be 30, like they can be 30 years or whatever. You can set up trusts in lots of different ways. This one, I assume, is well, actually, I guess it can't be an irrevocable trust because of what happens.
Yeah.
But there are three parties: the beneficiary, the person that sets up the trust, and then the trustee. The trustee is sometimes a bank, a lot of times a bank or an institution. They're the ones that control the funds, so that becomes important. Now, I knew right away something was fucking up because she called her mom and he was like, "Hey, I need the paperwork for the trust because I'm going to use this for collateral and everything." And her mom comes over and she's like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, it's so good to see you." And she's like, "Yeah, where's the stuff, Mom?" And she's like, "Oh, I forgot to bring it." And she was like, "That's the whole reason I asked you to come over."
Yeah, it's no good. I don't think she even got the paperwork from her mom, but her and Donna just go to the bank. She's just like,
Yes.
well, where is it? Let's just go to the bank.
Yeah, so she's like, she goes to the bank and she's like, "Hey, I need the paperwork. There should be like $75,000 in there." And the banker's like, "No."
Yeah, they didn't have a nice attitude or a
At
no
all.
or any. They were not like, "Oh, sorry, honey."
Yeah.
No, they're just like, "You don't have got that money."
And she's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's about $14,000 in here." And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she goes, "Yeah, if there was ever any of that kind of money in here, it's gone now." And it's like, you're the fucking bank.
Yeah.
Can't you see what happens to it?
Right.
Can't you be like, "Oh yeah, stuff was taken out here or there"? And apparently they can, because she gets a full printout of all the stuff, right? And then she calls her mom back over. It's like, "Hey, Mom, how come you needed to fucking remodel the house in 1996 or a new Jeep or all she lists all this shit because her mom took the money out of her." And, it's one of those, these Hollywood writers, they would know this. It's one of those classic stories of a child being a star in something. Usually it's acting that we hear about, but whatever, earning money as a youth and their parents misspending it when it's supposed to be for them. So yeah, she's all pissed off and everything. She's like, I sacrificed everything for you and whatever I
gave you my youth.
Whatever I took, I earned. Basically, is what she said.
Oh, the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's the same excuse that every child or every parent that steals from their child uses. Where it's like, well, I do this and that. And they're like, "Oh, be a parent? Okay. Well, I fucking asked you to do that. So why don't you take my money for it?"
Right?
The fuck?
Ridiculous.
So then her and Donna, because her and Donna are working together on this. Remember last episode, Donna called her trash or whatever. And they've I guess they've made up. Donna's like, "I did as bad as you, pretending that you fucked my boyfriend by calling you trash."
Which is not the same.
So
she deserved to be called trash for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying it's ridiculous. But it's basically, we're good now.
Again, because it's convenient for the storyline. So everybody loves each other when they need to and hates each other when they need to.
Exactly. So they're working together on this, and they find out together that her mom misspending the trust is the fault of the trustee. Whoever was in charge of this, presumably the bank, that they should not have allowed these funds to be spent this way. That was not legal or good. Thus, they're liable for the money.
Right.
So they have to recoup and make Gina whole again. And her mom just gets to embezzle the funds.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Like nothing legally happens to her mom. I feel like that's not the situation in real life. I feel like in real life, if for whatever reason, the bank allowed that to happen. The bank would have to make Gina whole, but the bank could also come after the mom and be like, yeah, you took that money, so we're going to try to recoup that money from you.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's, I don't know. I don't know anything about trust law or anything like that, corporate law, that kind of finance, or I guess it's finance law. I don't know anything about it. But I would assume that one could not just do that, or else that's a really convenient legal loophole.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're like, we're just going to sue the bank and get that money back and everything like that. And she's like, Mom, you need to tell me who the trustee is because we're going to fucking sue the shit out of him. We're going to get that money and everything. And Gina's all pissed off at her mom. She's like,
oh, yeah.
She says something like, because she said, I took your youth or whatever. And she's like, yeah, well, fucking, I guess you can't get that back, but I better be able to get back what you took from me. Like, it's a threat.
Yeah.
So this is actually the last thing that happens in the episode. There are more storylines, but this is actually, like, this is the bomb drop that happens in the episode where she's like, the mom comes back over to the Malibu Barbie Beach house, and she's like, yeah, you need to, Gina's like, you need to tell us who the trust is so we can sue him. She's like, that person that you want to sue to get your money back. It's Donna's mom. It's like, yeah, we kind of figured that out.
Did you? Because I did not.
I did, yeah.
Well, you're always figuring shit out. You're very smart.
So apparently Gina's it's gonna be a family splitting war, I guess, or whatever.
See, the thing is, though, Donna's parents are rich, so they should
pay her.
give her the money and move on.
Yep. I agree. Like, it doesn't matter. You did wrong by Gina here, even if you were trying to help your sister or whatever. So, like, when she comes to you... Now, here's the thing. You have to be diplomatic if you're Gina.
Right.
Instead of just suing or whatever, you and Donna go in together and say, let's just talk to your mom. And lay out the whole situation and how you're upset and all that stuff. And, if you do that, the only right decision for Elise, I think is her name.
Yeah, something like that. Clarice, I don't know.
Yeah. Clarice is to say, hey, I'll write you a check for the, what she spent.
Yeah.
And then just let it go at that. You have the money, just fucking do it.
But
it's not going to happen like that.
No.
Instead, she's going to have some sort of weird fucking excuse. Oh, she needed it for this and that. Your mom deserved that money or whatever. And it's just going to be a big war. Then split everyone up.
Fun.
Speaking of fun, what else do we have? We've got. I know we have Steve and Janet, and then we have
Donna, David, and Noah.
Right, and that's it. I think right. Those two. Yeah. Okay. So
let's talk about Steve and Janet.
Yeah, let's do Steve and Janet's fucking stupid ass story.
I'm starting to hate them together now. So they just finally agreed to be a couple last episode.
Yep.
And we start out with the two of them having brunch with her parents.
Yeah, this is actually how the episode starts, I think.
Yeah.
It's very abrupt, and it's like, okay, so he's meeting the parents already. Wow.
But she didn't tell her parents that he's her boyfriend.
No, this is fucking weird.
Why would you take your boss to brunch with your parents?
Yeah. First of all, how does that make any sense? Because that's what she's trying to pass him off as, is her boss.
He is her boss.
Well, yeah. But how does that make any sense? Why would you go to breakfast with your boss and your parents? That's weird. And then why wouldn't you clue Steve in any way? Because, I'm sorry, but her parents must be dumb if they don't understand, if they don't realize that these two are fucking.
Right.
At least. Because they're talking and everything, and Steve's like, yeah, Janet's just so great, and it was really nice to be inside. And she grabs his,
oh, come on.
She grabs his leg and she's like, inside the office together with. No, he didn't. He didn't say that, but I don't remember the exact.
No, I know.
I don't remember the exact dialogue, but it was along those lines of not sex, obviously, but being together, and she keeps stopping him, and it's like if I was the dad and watching this, I'd be like, oh, okay, I understand exactly what's going on,
right? And I don't know. I feel like maybe the dad did kind of have a inkling, because the next thing we know, well, first of all,
yeah,
she has to explain to Steve why she doesn't want her parents to know they're dating.
Because he's like, "Oh, you're ashamed of me and everything." And she's like, "No, it's not you. It's my dad. My dad has a very distinct image of what he wants me to date." And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
He's very traditional.
He wants me to date a Japanese. Apparently, she's Japanese. He wants me to date a Japanese man.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, so he's racist." This turns into a white people being prejudiced against episode. Kind of. It's, I don't know. It's I understand that there are certain people out there that only want their children to marry whatever, like the same culture, same race, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that's right. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. I don't think that's right, and I think that's prejudiced. I agree, but I always think it's funny when the rich white writers on the rich white show write about how white people are being discriminated against, like it's the biggest scourge in the world.
Okay, I mean, I guess that happened to me too. Like where I liked a guy who was Asian, and he was like, "I'm not allowed to date anybody who's not Asian."
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not. I'm sure it's definitely not everybody, but it is a thing that happens. It comes up.
I didn't say it wasn't a thing that happens.
I don't think that it's wrong that they put it out there.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting storyline from a very narrow perspective of these writers. You know what I mean? And I know they've tried to do things about like racism against black people and stuff like that too. They've done some of those episodes as well. But,
I mean, they've done them poorly, but they've tried, yes.
yeah, but I always think it's funny when the rich white people are like, "Oh, I'm being discriminated against." It's just, I don't know. It smacks as a little insincere.
Okay.
I do agree though that if and hey, whatever, to each his own. If you feel like that the races should stay together or whatever, I guess you're entitled to your opinion.
What?
I don't agree, but
Yeah, I think that's kind of a shitty opinion. Sorry. I'll have an opinion on that.
yeah.
So
I'm just saying, that's whatever. Everybody thinks their own way, and it's like if they, if you're Indian or whatever, and you're like, I only want I've known a few different people, Bengali, only want I knew a woman that was Bengali, and she was like, yeah, my dad's like, I can only marry a Bengali, not even like any other that area of the world, like India, Pakistan. I mean, they hate each other anyway, but in general, not all of them, but they don't have good relations. It's like the Arabs and the Israelites; they don't like each other either.
okay, let's bring it back to now 2-0.
You don't want to talk about geopolitics now?
I feel like we're stepping in it and around it and all. Yeah.
India and Pakistan both have nuclear weapons. It's not good. Just saying.
Okay. Happy thoughts.
Okay.
Let's talk about Steve and Janet.
Sure, that's happy. So they can't be together because... and here's the thing. Why did Janet even start having sex with him?
Because she likes him.
Yeah, but she can't be with him. She knew that prior. Because her dad only wants her to marry a Japanese man.
Maybe that's why she didn't want to get into a relationship with him, though.
Yeah.
He was trying to be her boyfriend for a while, and she was like, no, no, no.
Right. Until she was like, yes.
But all of a sudden now her dad sets her up. She's going to dinner to meet some dude.
Yeah, to meet a short, bespectacled, small penis Asian man.
No, that's who walks up to her, and Steve's like, "Oh, the competition, no big deal." And
no, I know. It's the stereotype of Asian men.
Yeah. No, actually,
Mickey Rooney dressed up as an Asian man walks up, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's my competition." It's like, no, actually, it's I don't know, fucking tall, handsome Asian man.
who I believe was also like a doctor or something.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't. I
Probably
feel like
also a race car driver.
I feel like they said what he did too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Steve goes to try to crash this. He doesn't want her meeting this guy. He wants to be with her.
By the way, this is pathetic.
That Steve showed up?
Yes. I think it's pathetic. she's basically like, look, get out of my fucking, like, I'm going to this thing or whatever. And he's like, I don't want you, we're dating. I don't want you to go to like a setup dinner or whatever. She's like, I can't do it. I'd be like, we're fucking done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I think it's pathetic that he showed up there.
Well, look what happened to him with Claire, though. He's had his heart broken so many times.
I agree, but like, I don't know. Like, I did not like the way Janet acted during this episode.
No, me either. I mean, I feel like he deserves better. He continues to be with women that treat him like shit.
Yeah.
But he tells her, well, first he's laughing at the little dude. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, no, it's this guy over here. And he's like, okay. And he tells her that he loves her because they're arguing. Yeah. And then she's like, wait, you love me? And then she's just like, Dad, I'm dating him.
Right.
Like, that's what it took.
Not at the dinner, but...
Oh, okay. I really thought it was. I didn't remember correctly.
No. She says it and, like, she gets all, like, whatever. He leaves the dinner. And they continue or whatever. And then the next day, they're in the Beverly Beat office. And the dad shows up there. I always love it when they introduce, like side characters like the dad or whatever. And it's like all of a sudden they're everywhere. We've never seen it before, but all of a sudden he's in every scene.
Right.
And she's like, he's like, your dad's, prejudiced or whatever. He keeps calling her dad prejudiced. And she's like, he's not prejudiced. He's just traditional. It's like they're making this argument or whatever. And so then the dad shows up. And that's when she's like, hey, like, this is my boyfriend. I'm dating him. I don't want to be with Asian guy. And he's like, oh, fuck you, or whatever, and he leaves.
Okay, he did not say that.
No, he says something in Japanese that probably translates to fuck you.
Well, and he's not fond of Steve because at the brunch, Steve was talking about his great idea to go through celebrities' trash. And that's what he's doing when the dad walks into the Beverly Beat and she tells him that they're dating.
Yeah. So, it's not good.
Yeah, he's like, hard at work, I see. Like, I mean, he's not making a good impression. For sure.
So, her dad kicks her out because she lives with her parents. So her dad kicks her out of the house for dating a white man.
Now,
that is pretty prejudiced, I have to say.
She's an adult woman who has a job, so she should be able to handle this.
But she's freaking out.
Yeah. I don't remember how this resolves. You got to help me.
It doesn't really resolve.
Oh, I kept expecting Steve to just be like, well, come live with me.
Me too. That's what I thought was going to happen too, but it doesn't really resolve. They're in bed together or whatever, talking about it, and she's like, but I love you too. And it's like, so they've pledged their love to each other. Mm-hmm. They're going to stick together. I think they're going to get a place in there. I think he's finally going to move out of the Walsh house, and they're going to get a place of their own.
Yeah, that would be good. I guess if they can get along, I don't know about this relationship.
I don't know. I'm hopeful that he finally finds some stability, but I don't know.
Yeah, he had stability with Claire, and they fucked that up.
They really did. I liked Claire too for a long time, so I didn't like her
till the prince.
So the whole thing with the prince happened. The princess who adore. Remember that? Remember how I used to do that all the time?
When a show has storylines that suddenly involve royalty, you can tell it's going down.
I guess I don't know another example of that. The episode of the Brady Bunch where Queen Elizabeth visited her.
I'm just saying it was something so out there. Like they're just so out there now.
Yeah. But. Anyway, so. The last storyline, speaking of out there, is Brian Austin Green. David, I don't know why I can never remember his name. David, Donna and Noah.
So last episode, Donna totally broke up with Noah, right?
On the last episode of 90210, Donna broke up with Noah totally.
Because of Gina.
Yes. They broke up.
Because she couldn't trust him, basically.
So, okay, if you want to recap of the last episode for whatever reason.
Because I need it, okay?
They broke up because of the picture of him and Gina. And he said something happened, and then he said something didn't happen because he was, gaslit. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it doesn't matter, I can't trust you, we're broken up. Plus, in that episode, she kissed David. And then they had a big kiss or whatever, and maybe had sex. at the end of that episode.
Yeah.
And so she had cheated on him too. It was just a kiss until she broke up with him. Then it was more at the end of the
But
episode.
they were broken up with. So
They were broken up with, yes.
So she's with David now.
Well, no.
Okay.
She's maybe with David now. We first see them. They're at the After Dark in his little booth, and everything. And they're talking, and he's like, "Hey, I want to go on a date with you." And she's like, "I can't because of Noah, and like I can't do this shit to him or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, but you're not with Noah now." And she's like, "I know, but like, I don't know. This is all weird and everything, and I feel bad." And he's like, "Come on, let's just go on a date." And she's like, "I can't do it." So then she talks to Noah, and Noah's kind of being like a dick and everything. I'm trying to remember exactly how they do end up going on a date.
No,
because she does eventually agree to the date. Oh, that's what it was.
What?
I remember. So Donna and Noah are going through this whole thing where Noah's trying to make it up to her, and Donna's like, no. But she has said no to David. She's at the Peach Pit, and I feel like Nat's just in his own Brenda and Brandon leaving 90210 worlds.
Right.
He's there and he's just all happy and dancing behind the counter. He's like, "Everything's so good. Hey Donna, it's nice to see you," and everything. And she's like, "What's going on with David over there?" And he's like, "Oh, he's talking to that girl." And he's talking to this woman. They're eating together at the Peach Pit, and she's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then she walks up and she's like, "David, that thing that you said, I can do it. I'll do it," or whatever. So she gets jealous and she agrees to go on a date with him.
Okay. So I only really remember Noah and David yelling at each other.
Well, yes, because Gina tells Noah, "Hey, just a heads up here. They kissed
On Valentine's Day before you broke up.
Yeah, and so and he's like, "Why should I believe you?" And she's like, "Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck." But that's what happened, and you need to be aware of that. And so, then he confronts her. I think it's so funny too because they're right outside of Now Wear This, and Donna knows that Gina's out there. She tells Noah that, and then Gina walks away, and then he goes right up to Donna and says it, and she's not like, "How do you know that?" Or like she had to have known Gina told her.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So she's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. You did this with Gina or whatever and shit. So that's no good. And then he goes up to David's house and starts screaming at David, "I thought we were friends."
Yeah, you were after her and
apparently he kicks him out of the After Dark, his little radio show.
he had Donna on the radio show with him too in this episode.
Yeah, Donna in lots of ways, apparently.
Right. So he loses his job for her.
But it sounds like they're going to be together.
I hope so. They should be. See, I feel like that's what the show is doing going into the 10th season. They're going to have Dylan and Kelly together.
Yeah.
They're going to have Donna and David together.
Yes.
Probably, I guess, Steve and Janet.
I guess Steve and Janet are probably where they're going with that, yeah.
And then Matt and Noah are going to leave. That's what I think.
I hope so. They need to. Or Matt and Noah can just date each other.
I'm looking at, the original cast picture that we have up here.
Yeah.
And I guess they got to get back to 8 still. So they're going to have somebody else. We've got paired off here.
We've got Gina.
2 of the original couples.
Yeah.
Gina. Yeah, okay. So who's Gina going to end up with?
I don't know.
Matt or Noah?
Matt's wife.
Maybe Noah.
Yeah, maybe Noah. I don't know. That is something that they've hinted at, so I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that is the episode for the week, Carol. Tell people where they can get Clozapine.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. We do not have Clozapine, unfortunately, but we will say hi. You can check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.